Some say late night talk shows are a window into the real lives of those people that we find so fascinating. But what happens when that person is the devil himself? Let's get into it. Hello there, Clapperheads, and welcome to a brand new edition of ClapperCorns. I'm Nick Dorian. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the horror film Late Night with the Devil. With a title like that, it's going to intrigue a lot of cinema goers out there, and safe to say this is a film that I don't think a lot of people are going to forget. Essentially, Late Night with the Devil centers around a late night talk show called Night Owls, and in a live television broadcast in 1977, a Halloween special, things go horribly wrong, unleashing an evil into the nation's living room as well as the very host that's hosting it. Now, I have to admit, this film has been in the back of my head for a while now, ever since I first saw the trailer, because it looked very, very interesting and almost seemed very real. Then when I watched the film, I realized why I felt all these things. Starting off as a documentary about the host Jack Delroy of Night Owls, this film feels like it's an actual talk show come to life. You don't feel like you're watching a film. You feel like you're actually watching an episode of this talk show. And the more you keep watching, the more you are drawn in and actually believe that what's happening is a true story and is actually happening. But let me set the record straight, this is not a true story at all. While it might seem the case, it draws a lot of inspiration from true stories, but I guarantee you this is not a true story whatsoever. Directors Colin and Cameron Kynes have delivered a fantastic masterpiece of a film that blurs the line between reality and the supernatural. And as the supernatural creepy things happen, you are left literally holding onto the edge of your seats because you are cowering in fear, because this feels so incredibly real. Like you are watching almost like a car crash happen in real time. You want to look away, but you just can't. You are gripped to this screen because there's that voyeuristic element in us that just wants to see what's going to happen. With a 97% rating over at Rotten Tomatoes, it's understandable why it's gotten such high ratings, despite a little bit of AI controversy along the way. For those who don't know, there was a little bit of controversy which put this film into a bigger spotlight because of its usage of AI within the segments of the TV show. While it has been addressed that while they did use AI, they also worked with a team of animators and illustrators to combine the two together, that helped push it more into the public's view and get more people watching. As they say, any publicity is good publicity. There's such an eerie element about this. It's not a straight up horror. You're not gonna have like jump scares and horrible visions and like creepy moments, but there is a very subtle way that they've done the horror around this. It's a very slow burn and there's a lot of little Easter eggs and subliminal images similar to what you saw in The Exorcist. They've used a lot of retro influence into this and it works on such a huge level. And there's two actors at play here that really stand out that gives it its authenticity. Ingrid Torelli, the actress that plays the young girl Lily, who is possessed by the devil, has such a haunting stare when she looks into the camera that it feels like she's just looking into your soul and grabbing onto you and not letting go. She is a major reason why there's so much eeriness around this whole film. But the real star of this entire film is the performance that David Dastmalchian has given. Known for his more comedic roles in films like Ant-Man as well as Suicide Squad, David has really shown his acting chops with Late Night with the Devil. Honestly, I think he has delivered the performance of his life with this film. It is such a complex character that he delves so well into it that you just lose yourself watching his performance. He is charismatic, he is depressive, he is lonely, he is grief-stricken. There's so many things at play here in Jack Delroy that David brings out with his skills. If not for the filmmaking, David is a huge reason to watch this film. It's very rare to have a horror film come out like this in this day and age when everything is relied on shock value and jump scares. This is a film that really takes its time and is a slow burn from the first half of the film. Sure, it speeds up in the third act and leaves your mouth agape at that ending, but the subtle way that they've gone about this horror is honestly masterful. If I may be so bold, there's a lot of inspiration I feel from the BBC special Ghost Watch. At the time, Ghostwatch scared the entire nation because people believed that it was real. It was filmed as a documentary but wasn't stated that it wasn't real. They actually thought that people had gone into this haunted house and poltergeists were happening, there was an exorcism, and this entire thing was real. It was only until much later the BBC did state that it was an entire story of fiction and none of it actually happened. And so you can see the sort of similarities with Late Night with the Devil. While all of it is fiction, you genuinely believe that this is a real story and that there is an actual entity on screen right in front of your eyes. With the subliminal images that are portrayed on screen in a split second, as well as little things in the background that you might miss if you don't look close enough, it's enough to create this eerie atmosphere as you watch it and just keep you chilled to the bone. At the end of the day, Late Night with the Devil is a horror film unlike we've seen in the last few decades. It will chill you, it will haunt you, it will leave you gasping for air and questioning what is real and what is not. It may be disturbing to some, I have to give that warning, but I assure you, you need to watch this film as soon as possible. So do yourself a favor, Late Night with the Devil is now streaming on Shudder. I guarantee you, you are going to have an eerie, haunting, and amazing experience with this one. And it's a film that I think needs to be seen to be believed because it's something that doesn't come around very often. And as always, you can check us out on all social media. It's all on the screen at the moment: Instagram, TikTok, and of course YouTube. Go and subscribe and follow these social media outlets for more updates. Thank you so much again for watching. I'm Nick Dorian, and as always, keep watching the movies.